October is a difficult month to stay joyous, teaching 5 hours past your pumpkin spice venti latte soft top with caramel drizzle. Spirit Week just seems like another excuse for chaos to ensue and instruction to be interrupted. We as teachers often talk about our behaviors and how much our children can't do. We complain about how parents aren't giving some children basic needs and expecting the teachers to turn their little demons into the little angels they see them as. There's tension within grade level teams, conflict amongst staff members, and not enough Fs to go around. Well, 50% because grading accurately is out of the window, and we give no fail points just for writing your name and your date. Welcome to the Classroom Management in October series. This month is usually where the line graph dips low. The fun times and smiling faces have turned boring and sour when teachers secretly hope to win the lottery to leave teaching behind and travel to one of those Instagram destinations. Some teachers are even searching for new schools to work at. You may hear more yelling from the classes, see more chaos in the hallways, almost as if it's a zoo. See, the struggle's real. And without those 2 or 3 students that show you the appreciation and brighten your hours, you start to weigh your options. Maybe I should be working on the strip. Shout out to Las Vegas, Nevada. See, as your teacher retention specialist, I've been instructed to share 8 hidden keys to reclaiming your authority as a teacher. Each week, you'll receive 1 hidden key. And these are keys that I've used, all right? It's not just, okay, what is this? No, these are keys that I've used, and I've been able to gain authority within my classroom, and I keep reusing, okay? I'll teach you how to unlock your authority within those keys and also share a classroom management tactic or 2 to implement it with. Disclaimer. I am not saying you won't have the same troubles or distractions, excessive talking, and behaviors as before. I'm saying that you will be leaving the school day feeling golden. When you used to feel bronze, you will bounce into school with joy instead of rushing in late because staying in the shower 10 more minutes is so satisfying. If you want to stay golden into the end of car loop, this is the podcast for you. For all those bronzy teachers, this is definitely the podcast for you. And no worries, there's a safe space. We won't share that you listen, though we're ready with open arms when you finally comment on the positive impact these episodes have had on your classroom, your teaching, or your family. Let the prep PD begin. C'est la vie, c'est la belle.
My spirit and soul are strong, so strong, filled with wisdom all day long. Ooh, last teachers at school, standing proud, spreading light, lifting hearts in the crowd.
The objective for today is I can and will submit to authority and resist class distractions. Repeat with me. I can and will submit to authority and resist class distractions. The biblical hidden key for today is in James 4:7. And the word of the day is submit. Haha. Now, it wouldn't be a great episode PD session if we didn't start off with our declaration. So go ahead, repeat after me. I'm victorious in teaching, especially at this time. Victorious in teaching, especially at this time. I'm powerful beyond measure if I let my true light shine. Powerful beyond measure if I let my true light shine. Speak life, bear fruit. My learning is lifelong. My learning is lifelong. Speak life, bear fruit. My soul and spirit are strong. My soul and spirit are strong. All right, let's get in the key. James 4:7 states this in the Amplified. So be subject to God. Resist the devil. And then the parentheses in the brackets, it says, stand firm against him. And then it says, and he will flee from you. 1, 2, 3. Be subject to God. Submit to God first. 2, resist the devil. How do you resist? Stand firm against him. And then the result, he will flee. That's an if-then statement over there. If you submit to God, if you resist the devil, he will flee. resist and he will flee. But a lot of us, we are focused on just resisting that classroom distraction. We are focused on just resisting the chaos that's happening with certain students and the ones that go ahead and do one thing, but then another student wants to act foolish because the other student is acting foolish. And it's a ripple effect. We want to focus on resisting, but we have to remember what is first. In the KJV, it says it this way: submit yourselves, therefore, to God. In the NIV, it says, submit yourselves then to God. And the NLT version, it states it right here. And it's ringing. So humble yourselves before God. Are you not humble? Are you not being humble in yourself? Are you not being humble enough to the authority at the school, the policies that you have, understanding, yes, you do have power and authority, teachers. However, there's a system in place for a reason. And so if you're not right here, it says repent and align yourself first to God. Okay. When you do this, just not only your classroom will be better. You won't just have authority in your classroom and with your students. You'll have authority in life, in all the circumstances in your life. Many times as teachers, are having a harder time with student behavior than we need to have because we believe that we can handle them on our own. And then time after time comes when we're reminded that there has to be another way. As the employee of the school, you have a handbook with certain policies and protocols that you should be following. And if you, as an employee, don't choose to follow the proper protocols, then you will have a more difficult time resisting those behaviors from occurring. You see, I know all schools don't have the best admin support. I understand that wholeheartedly. I thoroughly understand. I do. However, the first part is just being in submission to the authority which you're under. Once you do so, then the burden of handling those students with behaviors can be eased from your shoulders, if not eliminated. All right? See, you don't have to be that one person. As I share within parent-teacher conferences, you and your student and your families all have a part in the growth of the child. It's a tripod. It's a tricycle. When you're going forward, the teacher needs to teach effectively and do everything possible so that the most instructional minutes are used effectively so that every single student is learning. But two, the student actually has to give the effort to be able to learn in their student's ability. Now, understand, if you have certain students who may have not had that foundation in the past, okay, you have to give them grace as a teacher. But giving grace still means keeping them accountable of what they can do and teaching and supporting and scaffolding those behavior skills, those academic skills that they need in order to get to the level that they need to be at. As well, the families need to do their part. This is for mom or dad or guardian, auntie, uncle, whoever's in their family structure. They need to make sure that the kid has their basic needs. They need to make sure they get enough sleep. They need to make sure that they get enough food in their system. They need to make sure that they are not having traumatic experiences at home, which are really going to distract them all throughout the school day. They need to make sure they're giving them enough love at home so they don't try to do a lot of great things or a lot of bad things at school just to receive that extra attention that they're missing from their family.
And many of you would like to know Jesus, and you'd like to get close to Jesus, and you'd like to have Jesus in your heart, and you'd like to have salvation, but you face many obstacles. What are they? Let's just list a few of them that you face. First is pride. The Bible teaches that pride keeps more people from Christ than any other sin. The sin of pride. The Bible says God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. The Bible says, if any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Jesus said we had to become as little children to be converted. You must become as a child. You see, we're all proud, and we don't like to humble ourselves.
Furthermore, the ultimate responsibility for those students is their guardians. And if you're not in submission to the basic school policies as a teacher, the actions, words you may have decided may limit the effective collaboration that could occur to ease those classroom troubles. More often than not, when the teacher isn't abiding by the school policies, the parents will complain about that openly in front of the student. And that increases the disrespect that the student shows towards the teacher. Would you like help? Do you really want help? Come on, tell me. Do you really want help? Say yes, I'm telling you to talk to the phone right now. Talk to your computer. Do you really want help? So if you really want help, then submit to God. If you really want help, submit to the school that you're at. You signed a contract for a reason. You didn't just sign so you can get paid. You signed so that you can make an epic impact in the lives of real human beings. And so if you want to make an impact, you have to be under submission. You have to be in submission. You have to humble yourself and understand that you don't know everything. You can't do everything. And when you finally do that, you will realize, oh, snap, I should have been doing this earlier.
Whether you are a last teacher at school like my husband was, or have become a Sigma educator like he is now, sharing your brutally honest feedback about this episode will help him serve you better. You can leave your feedback on Amazon Music, Player FM, or Apple Podcasts. The Life Fruit radio goal for this podcast is to bring teaching victory to 3.2 million U.S. educators. A lofty goal like this does not happen without viewers just like you. So please take 2 minutes to be brutal yet honest so more teachers like you gain victory at home and at school. Thank you in advance, and now back to your PD session.
One of my students, who usually is not submitting himself or humbling himself, he went over to a speech therapist. And even though for the past hour, he's been walking around the room and he's been, not doing his work, not even writing his name on certain papers so that he can go ahead and start it off, he went over with the speech therapist and he submitted to the instructions that I gave in class by writing it with her in the room. And with that, found out that, okay, hold on, you need a separate sheet of paper. And so when he got that separate sheet of paper with the lines, with the different organizers for each and every letter, we were able to see that, okay, this was very helpful in ensuring that he writes smaller, but then also he writes with spaces between his words. When he did that, when he was submitted just for 30 minutes, then he came on back and we were able to see, okay, that's a flaw that he has. And I asked the class, how many other people need help writing? I thought it was only 5 at the time, but they in themselves, as second graders, they said, they raised their hand. It was about 11 students that raised their hand. And I showed him, don't you see what happens when you're finally humble, when you are finally following instructions? When you follow instructions, your flaws are helpful to the whole class. And so I tell that to you too, teachers, teacher friend. Your flaws are helpful to your whole grade level team. Your flaws are helpful to your school. I know it'd be like, snap, they're going to know that I can't do this or I can't do. Be humble. Sit down. That great prophet, Kendrick Lamar. I'm just joking. But he said, be humble. All right. God says, be humble. Sit your tail down. And within your humility, you will do greater things than being prideful, than thinking that you can handle it all on your own. Because if you're a teacher these days, no, you can't. You weren't meant to handle it all on your own. You know what? The only teachers who can handle it really all on their own, if you got 10 to 15 students. If you don't have 10 to 15 students, then sit your tail down. Okay. Sit your tail down and understand that, yes, you will need to rely partially on someone else, their parents. Rely on the nurse, rely on the administration, rely on that SPED coordinator, rely on a teacher friend or a co-teacher or a teacher assistant. We were not meant to operate alone anyway. So stop trying. Be humble. And once you're humble, then resist those behaviors, then resist the devil.
You don't know it, but you have been deceived. Satan himself has blinded your minds that you might not see the light of the glorious gospel of Jesus Christ. For once you see the light of Jesus, as I did long, long ago, you will realize your distractions are hurting you more than you think. 2 weeks ago, I officially cut off my biggest distraction, and it has awakened a part of me that has been dormant for so long. For the first time in months, I am reading my Bible every day, praying consistently, going to the gym, taking my vitamins, actually doing the dreams that God had placed in my heart, all of these things, doing them consistently, all because I cut off all distraction. Where you are today is a culmination of seeds you have planted and decisions you have made that are now bearing fruit, because there's always seed time and harvest time. Many of us are operating in wasted potential because we are allowing things that don't benefit us to pull us away from things that do. I want to see how far I can go. I want to see God's plan for my life come into fruition. I don't want to reach heaven and God tell me, yeah, I had this and this plan for you, but you were too busy reading fiction books and watching K-dramas to actually do it. A lot of times I would go to these distractions when I was tired or stressed. And that's a problem because my rest and recovery should be found in the Lord, not in these distractions that momentarily take my mind away from my problem. But when I go back, the problem is still there. I truly see that the rest that I have been looking for is found in Him. And the best thing about God is that not only does He give rest, but He brings the solution and the strength to overcome every circumstance.
As you resist the devil under submission, then the evil shall flee. Then those behaviors will flee. Then that chaos will flee. There will be peace because you're under submission and you are not taking your whole self into a mind state or an emotional state, which is only going to get you in trouble. And it started with the kid, the child, the scholar being in trouble. Don't be doing that. You got a family at home. You better submit to those school policies because your family is way more important in your life than those students at that school. And so if you're not submitting to the school policy and you do something that crosses the line, they'll say, you're not able to abide by our policies and rules. We're going to have to let you go so that we can find others that can abide by our policies and rules. Something that started with this chaotic kid from this, family being like this in the classroom, doing all this, turns into you losing your job. Facts. Come on now. Think first. Submit to God. Resist the devil. He will flee. Time for the exit ticket. I know you gotta go to the bathroom. Get the exit ticket first. Hey,
gang, if you want to experience God more than ever before, ask God for these 3 things. Ask Him, number 1, God, help me to love you more than I've ever loved you before. Help me to be faithful in loving you. And if you would do that, it's according to His will. Therefore, He's going to fulfill it because it's God's will that you love Him more. And once you start experiencing that love, man, your spiritual relationship with Christ is going to soar. Number 2, ask God to help you to be more thankful to Him for the things that He does in your life. And I'm telling you this, whenever you ask God that you would be more thankful, that's according to His will, and He will perform that. And what happens is, the more thankful you are for the things that God does for you, the more you're going to love Him, and the more your spiritual life is going to soar. Number 3, ask God to give you a deeper desire to read the Bible, and ask God to give you the meaning of the Scriptures as you're reading it. And if you'll do it, then you'll learn more about God, you'll be more thankful about what He's given you, and you'll love Him more and more. And this will be a wonderful experience that you'll have with God. What a wonderful spiritual adventure you will have if you'll just ask God for those 3 things. God, help me to love you more. God, help me to be more thankful for the things you do in my life. And God, help me to read my Scriptures and understand what you teach me. God, I love you and I'm going to follow you. Come on, y'all.
What? Oh my goodness. Prep period is over already. Remind me to share the rest next time though. C'est la vie, c'est la belle.
Through every trial, I stand tall. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Teaching in victory, I give my all.